Begin on your back with your legs bent. Bring the hands to the belly and breathe deeply. Then release the hands down by the hips and move into a bridge flow. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Moving with your breath, making sure to evenly press into the feet, keeping the knees hip distance apart and opening up through the chest. Then holding at top and gently pulsing. Tiny, slow movements here. The smaller and slower the movements, the more you will feel it. Make sure both glutes are firing equally. Then holding and moving into heel lifts, coming up on the balls of the feet. So you're holding the bridge and just inhaling, heels up and lowering. You can move with the breath or faster, whatever feels good here. Releasing on down, hugging the knees into the chest, stretching out those hips, option to rock side to side. And then moving into windshield wipers, bringing the knees side to side with the breath, gluing the shoulders to the ground, working the core, hips, opening up through the spine. Option to add neck turns as well. Releasing the feet down to the ground, bringing the soles of the feet together for butterfly, and moving into a bridge butterfly version. We're working those muscles on the outsides of the hips, really isolating them here as we open up through the inner thighs. You probably won't go as high as you normally can in bridge, and that's fine. Pay attention to the lower back here. If it bothers you at all, bring the knees back together and move into a regular bridge. Then holding at the top, gently pulsing. And then moving into opening and closing the legs. So we're still in a low bridge, but now we're opening to butterfly and squeezing the knees together, really activating those inner thighs. Almost there. I know it burns. Hugging the knees into the chest, you're done with those. Then extending both legs straight, interlacing the hands behind the head, curling up and holding. Legs are active, squeezing an imaginary or real block between the thighs to activate that lower deep core. Release the head, keep the legs up. Then exhale, curl back up. Turn the right toes in and twist to the left. Back to center, release the head. Exhale, curl up, turn the left toes in, twist to the left. Release the head, curl on up, and then twist the legs like you're driving a car with the feet as you still have the upper back and head lifted. And release the head. One more, curl on up, and then try to lift the tailbone off the ground like you're stepping on the ceiling. Hold, breathe. This is a hard one. And release down. Full body stretch, arms overhead, legs straight. Then reaching for the back of the thighs. Taking about 5 rocks, try to balance on the sit bones each time you come up. Then on this next one, we're going to hold at top and move into boat. You can hold on to the back of the thighs, release the hands, and straighten the legs if you want to make it more challenging. And crossing the legs, lifting the butt up, just holding here, then releasing and coming through to all fours. Reaching for your heavier weight, and we're going to move into shoulder mobility first. So just arms, right arm front and back, warming up through the back and the shoulder. Then reaching for your weight and lat pulls. So keep the right shoulder facing down as the elbow pulls up, resist down. If you want to make it more challenging, you could combine both weights here. Then release the weight. Reach the right leg straight back, toes pointing down, and pulse. Lower the left forearm, turn the right toes out, and pulse. Now we're isolating the outside of the right hip instead of the back of the glute and hamstring. Come up to the left hand again and move into kneeling side plank. That leg is still lifted, and pulse. Right hand can stay lifted or come to the hip, then rotating back down to all fours. Right arm up and through, so thread the needle. You can extend the arm all the way up if you have a lighter weight. If you have a heavier weight, just point the elbow up and then punch it through that spot, working the obliques, core, lats, and arm. Slow and controlled here. High reps with a low weight. If you're doing a high weight, do less reps. Then coming down to forearms, shifting up to dolphin, and walking in dolphin. So the heels reach up, toes stay pointing down, just like you're walking. Pulling up through that upper back, lifting through the shoulder blades. Almost there. And then coming back to all fours, moving the weight to the left hand, and lat pulls with the left hand. Elbow up, reaching up and down. Feel the muscles along the back left side of the back. Then left leg reaches straight back, pulsing, toes pointing down. That part's important. When the toes turn out, we no longer isolate the glute and the hamstring. Now turn the toes out, come down to the right forearm and pulse, isolating the outside of the left hip now. Reach the left arm up into kneeling side plank, continue the pulsing. And rotate back down to all fours. Reaching for the weight with your left hand, elbow up, thread through. So this is a thread the needle variation with a weight. You'll feel this in your core, obliques. We're also twisting through the spine. It's important to use a light weight here. I'm using 5 pounds, which is probably the max you'd want to use. Back to our dolphin. This time, right leg reaches up, toes pointing down, and bring the leg out to the side and back. This is deceivingly hard. Try to keep the whole upper body stable. Then right leg lowers, left leg lifts, same thing on the left side. Strengthening through the upper body, challenging our body to move in a new and different way. Then drop back down, coming up to all fours, and then down dog. Breathe. Deep breath in. Sigh it out and walk the feet forward, reaching for your lighter weights and coming on up. Bring the hands down. Step the right leg back to a lunge. Come on up and twist side to side with the weights right in front of you. To make it more challenging, keep the weights apart. If it's too much weight, bring the weights together. So we're working the arms and the core and the legs here. Release the weights, step back to plank, and then just rock front to back on the balls of the feet. Try to be a nice flat line here, a plank. Then exhale, chaturanga, and push up. Inhale, this cobra variation with the arms and cactus to push up. So inhale back, then push up. Lower, half cobra with arms. You could do full push-up here as well. As long as your form is good, it doesn't matter. Then pressing back to child's pose. Reaching for the weights, swinging the right leg forward. Same thing with the right leg forward. Twisting side to side. Try not to open up through that left hip. So really turn the left glute on so that you're twisting from belly button up. Don't mind my weird bandana. I would have been dripping sweat, so. Release the weights, lift up the back knee and step forward to forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale the hands through heart center and then into chair. Pulsing in chair. I'm not going very deep here. It sure felt deep at the time, but you can go as deep or as little as you want here. Inhale on up. Exhale, fold. Stepping the left leg back, dropping the knee, reaching for your weights. And then we're going to bring the weights in front and do a nice slow punch. Punch, chamber. Punch, chamber. A lighter weight here as well. This is a 3-pound. Inhale up. And release. Swinging the leg back to plank. And then we're going to move from down dog to plank. So press to down dog. Roll to plank. Press down dog. Roll plank. Couple more. Then holding in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Bringing the arms out in front. Slow swimmer. So opposite arm and leg lifts. Try to hover the arms and feet above the ground if you can. Slow swimmers are hard, especially when you hover. And then go ahead and speed it up. If you prefer, you could keep it nice and slow. They're both challenging in different ways. Then pressing up and back to down dog. Breathe. Look between the hands. Step the left foot forward. Arms in front, that nice slow punch and kneeling lunge. Almost there. Inhale the arms up, holding that kneeling lunge, feeling that nice stretch through the hip flexor. And then releasing the weights, lifting up the back knee, stepping forward to forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale the hands through heart center, reaching for your heavier weights. These are 5 pounds. Hamstring pulls. So legs straight, lower, nice straight back, and hinge up, pressing the hips forward. Doesn't matter how far you go down here, but you want mostly straight legs and very straight back. Core is engaged to protect the spine. Press the hips forward so you feel the glutes engage each time. Pressing the weight evenly into the feet. And then holding and moving into lat pulls. So we're still working the back of the legs, and now we're moving into the back as well. Hinge back up, and then halfway hinge with lat pulls again. And hinge up. Stepping the right leg back to warrior one. Inhale the arms up. As you straighten the left leg, bring the arms to cactus, then back to warrior one, flowing through this with the breath or at your own pace. Try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders as you lower down. Then combining the weights in the right hand, hinging forward, moving into lat pulls with combined weights. Keep that core engaged to protect the spine. Almost there. Separating the weights and releasing them. Then shifting forward to a warrior three, pulsing that lifted right leg. Make sure those toes are pointing down. And then tapping the right knee to the left calf. So left leg will bend slightly, right leg will bend a lot. Tap and extend. Tap, extend. Then we're going to bring the knee to the outside of the left foot and turn into cow face pose toward the side of the mat, adding some shoulder rolls. To come out of this, bring the hands to the left and open up to straddle to the other side of the mat, move into side lunges. Stretching the inner thigh here, strengthening the outer hip. Then reach for your heavier weights, hinge up to standing. And then 5 pointed star, exhale moonflower. So toes are pointing out here, wide plie position. And as you squat down, make sure that back is nice and straight and pull the elbows to the hips. And then hold your squat, bringing your elbows to your hips, working the sides now, and the legs, obviously. We're just doing 5 on each side here. Almost there. Now we're going to add movement, so stand up and then bring the elbow to the thigh instead as you squat down. Then combining the weights in the left hand, coming into a squat, pressing the tricep on the inner thigh, bicep curls. Keep that upper arm isolated, so just the forearm is moving. And coming up to standing, separating the weights, turning the feet parallel, moving into side lunges with front raises. Side to side. Opposite arm lifts from the leg you're leaning into. If at any time you need to switch to a lighter weight or drop the weights completely, feel free. Never want to hurt ourselves as we're trying to get healthier and stronger. Turning to the back of the mat, warrior one on the right leg, and then moving into that flow with the cactus arms, elbows in line with the shoulders. I never listen to myself after I record this, so I apologize if I sound ridiculous. Hopefully you laugh a little bit listening to this. Almost there. Then combining the weights in the left hand and coming into that lat pull. Nice straight back. I'm just checking on my kids. They're playing in the swings over there. Then releasing the weight, shifting the weight to the right leg, standing splits variation, pulsing that lifted leg. Toes pointing down, core engaged, back straight. Fingertips or no hands. Then moving into that, bending the lifted leg, tapping the calf. You really feel this in the outer right thigh. The core is engaging as well. That right leg is strengthening. Then we're going to bring the knee to the outside of the right foot, turn into cow face to the side of the mat. This time arms extend and try to move through the ribs, reaching left, right, left, right. You can see on me I have more mobility in one side than the other. That's why we do these things, find balance. Then hands come to the left, open up to side lunge to the other side of the mat. And then we're going to do side lunges with arm twists. You could do these as slowly or as quickly as you want. Basically, the leg that bends, the same arm goes up. And then reaching for the weights again, hinging on up to standing. Coming into our squat, weights in the right hand, bicep curls. Getting that arm stronger. And you guys should feel free to blare whatever exciting music you want in the background. It's not very motivating to just have my voice. You need that music. Almost there. Hinging on up, releasing the weights, feet turn parallel, elbows back, tricep dips with side lunges. Doesn't matter which side you extend the arms on. We're working the outer hip, stretching the inner thigh, and strengthening the triceps, core, back. By combining moves and using lighter weights, we can really work the whole body. And then turning the toes out, combining the weights overhead, tricep dips overhead. You can add a little squat, your choice, but make sure there's a slight bend to the knees at least, and that you're tucking the tailbone, core is engaged. And then releasing the weights down. Bringing the feet together and moving into this little prayer twist thing. Opposite elbow taps the thigh as the leg steps behind. Curtsy twist, curtsy twist. Then hold. And change sides, hold. Back to center. Feet a little wider than hip distance, toes turned out, garland squats. Hands stay in prayer. You do not need to come all the way down. Whatever feels good on your body. But the more you come down, the more you'll feel the strength in the thighs. And then stepping on up to the top of the mat, inhaling the arms up, exhaling down, coming down to all fours. We're moving into our weird combo, so get those weights out of the way. Right leg back, left arm extends, spinal balance. Then left hand down, right leg swings forward, shift the weight to the right leg. Inhale, left knee all the way up, and then twist to the left. Inhale up, hands down, left leg steps back, swing the right leg back to spinal balance, left arm extends, then doing it again. Right leg swings forward. Come up to lunge, left knee all the way up, twist open to the left. Inhale, center, exhale, down, swing the right leg back to spinal balance, then forward. Bring the left leg up, twist and open to the left, back to center, down, swing the right leg back, left arm extends. Left hand down, swing the right leg forward. Last one. Come all the way up. Twist open to the left. Option to hold there or grab the toe. Moving into a twisting extended hand to big toe. And release. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, jump or step back to plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out. And then come down to all fours. Got to do it on the other side. Left leg extends, right arm extends. Lower the right hand, left leg swings forward. Come up to a lunge and bring the right leg forward as you twist and open to the right. Back to center, hands down, right knee drops, left leg back to spinal balance, right arm extends. Right hand drops, left leg swings forward, shifting up to lunge, then right knee comes all the way up, twist open to the right, back to center, hands down, drop to a lunge, left leg swings back. Same thing, left leg comes forward, shifting up, right leg reaches up, open up to the side, back to center, and lower. Last one, left leg back to spinal balance. Swing it forward. Bring the right leg all the way up. Twist open to the right. Option to reach for the big toe. Extended hand to big toe on this side. Release. Inhale all the way up, exhale, fold. Reach for the big toes and enjoy your fold here. Stretch out those hamstrings, a slight bend to the knee here or a big bend. Make sure that core is active so you're tucking the tailbone a bit and then come on down to all fours. Placing the heavier weights on either side of the mat. And then laying on down. Weights straight overhead. Tricep dip, crunch. Tricep dip, crunch. So at the tricep dip, you're bringing the weights almost to the ears. Make sure the elbows stay in line with the shoulders. They're going to want to flare out to the side, so try to keep them in line there. Almost there. hold your crunch and pulse. Arms overhead, bring the fists together, open and close. Like you're hugging a ball as you bring the weights together. We're going to do this single a couple times. Then right arm opens, then left, then both. So right, left, both. Just a slight variation of what you were already doing. And then add some pulls with crunches. So press the weights up, pull them in, crunch. Press up, pull in, crunch. Just a few more. Isolating the core here, working the chest as well, and the arms. Basically the whole upper body. Then arms overhead, weights together, lift the legs up, and just pull those weights. Working the core, back, arms here. And then hold the weights overhead and pull the legs in. Those little lower body curls. Adjust these as you need. The closer your toes get to tapping the ground, the more you'll feel it. And back to upper body, arms up and back overhead. Back to our curls. Try to keep the back pressing into the ground so only the hips lift up, really isolating that lower core. And release everything. Rolling onto the right side. Bringing the legs to a 90-degree angle, moving into clamshells. Inhale, left leg up and close. So feet stay together. Try not to rock back through that left hip. So hips stay on top of each other. It's just the left thigh, knee, and shin moving. Really isolating. Now lift the feet and do the same thing. So we're isolating that outer left hip here. Also working the inner thighs a bit. Release the legs. Reach for that left foot and stretch out the thigh. Start to slow down the breath. We're almost done. Getting to the fun part, the stretching. I mean, that was all fun, right? Then the leg comes straight up, reaching for the big toe, wherever you can. Calf. Just enjoying a nice stretch here. Doesn't have to be fancy. Leg comes in front, and you're going to press on up into this half Lord of the Fishes and twist to the left. Right arm hooks. Breathe. Unwinding, moving into cow face, one knee on top of the other, left arm lifts, right arm reaches behind. You do not need to make the bind. If your fingers are right there, go ahead. So opening up through shoulders, chest, hips, inner thighs here. Internal and external rotation of the hips. Release. Lay down on the left side. Clamshells here. Same thing. Make sure that right hip doesn't open up and rock back. Engage the core. Slow, controlled movements. Then shift the feet up, same thing. You'll find more mobility with the feet lifted. So you'll have to work more on not letting that hip drop back behind you. Then reaching for that foot, stretching out the thigh. And leg can extend straight up, reaching for the calf, thigh, toe, outer foot. I look so bored. I promise I'm not bored here. And bringing the leg in front of the other leg, coming up into half Lord of the Fishes. Twist to the right, left arm hooks. Look over the back shoulder. Don't watch your children like I'm doing here. And then moving into cow face pose. This is a hard one for me, as you can tell. Right arm bends, left behind. Make the bind or not. The right palm will be on the back. The left palm will be facing the wall behind you. Release. Bring the feet to butterfly. Exhale, hinge forward. Try to keep a nice straight back here. You can relax the head and shoulders, but try not to arch through that lower back or upper back. And come on up. Extend the legs for straddle. Exhale, fold. There's a pressure point in your forehead, so if you'd like to clasp your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. You could also use blocks underneath the forehead here. Coming on up. And then namaste. You guys go relax your final relaxation. Take as much time as you need. Thank you.